Okay guys, before we start, I just want to let you know that I'm now streaming weekly on Twitch. So if you ever want to stop by and hang out and chat about anime, manga, or whatever, that's twitch.tv/the_and_architect. Okay, on to the video. What is happening, everybody? I am the architect, and today I'm back. You know, it's getting kind of stuffy in here. So, I think I'm going to do something about that, guys. Be right back. That's better. Anyway, guys, I'm back with another video. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here, and I feel like since we're getting back to this, and we're getting close to 700 subs, and now is as good a time as any to show you guys the ugly mug behind the mask. So here we are. And what better way to make our return to YouTube than a good old-fashioned manga haul, just like old times. So that's what I'm going to do. Today I'm going to show you all of the stuff that I've gotten since I've been missing from YouTube. If this is your first time watching and you enjoy this kind of content, I'd appreciate it if you hit that little subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified whenever I post anything new. I got new content coming pretty soon, so that's the best way to make sure you don't miss it. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll start off with some of the ongoing series that I'm still collecting. Jujutsu Kaisen Volumes 10 and 11. I don't think I'm completely caught up with this series yet. I think Volume 12 has already come out. I haven't bought any manga this month, actually. All this has come from like the last 2 months or so. So I'm a little behind on that. I have finished watching season 1 of the anime, which was pretty freaking cool. Honestly, if you prefer to watch the anime over reading the manga, that is a perfectly viable option because it's just so good. As for the series as a whole, I still really love the power structures of all the characters. I love the idea of different levels of sorcerers going against different levels of curses. The powers are unique, the villains are interesting, and I love Yuji's motivations and his view on the value of human life and such, man. And as I mentioned before, JJK, in my opinion, just does shonen manga better than most shonen manga out there. So that's one of the reasons it's still one of my favorites. Next up, we have Chainsaw Man Volume 5 and Volume 6. And I gotta tell you guys, if you want an actual batshit crazy manga series to get into right now, Chainsaw Man is the sauce. I mean, if you want action, like really over-the-top, bloody, insane action, I mean, this series has that in buckets. And I gotta say that I do appreciate the motivations of the main character Denji in this. With a lot of shonen manga protags, their motivations are always like, I want to be stronger, or I want to protect my family and the ones I love. Meanwhile, Denji's just like, I just want to touch the booba. And you know what? That's a cause worth fighting for. But yeah, Chainsaw Man is just a great combination of crazy fight scenes, deep storytelling, dark comedy. I mean, it's got so many great elements, and I really can't wait to finish reading the series. Next up, another manga haul, another volume of COMEY. This is COMEY Can Communicate, Volume 13. Again, I'm not sure if I'm fully caught up with the series. I know that I'm about halfway through reading all the volumes that I have. And the anime is out now, which if you follow me long enough, you know that I've been calling for that anime for like a year now, and it's here. It's finally here. Unfortunately, it's in Netflix jail, which kind of sucks if you don't have Netflix, but I do, so I don't have to worry about it. But what else can I really say about this? It's COMEY, it's wholesome, and it's wonderful. I still love it. It's great. Next up on the docket, we have the Quintessential Quintuplets Volume 14. This is the final volume, and so now I have the entire series collected. This is one of the first ongoing series that I started collecting when I committed to this hobby. When I started, I wanted to collect the newer series, and I loved the first season of the anime so much, so for me this was a no-brainer. Now, I've already read to the end of the series digitally, and as some of you may remember, I was not a big fan of the ending at the time, but now I have the whole series. I can reread it again, and maybe I'll have a different perspective on that ending after I watch it, or after I read it again. So I'm excited to actually have it. I'm super happy to have completed it, and now I'm looking forward to rereading it, because it's still a great shonen romance, man. I still recommend it, so there you go. Next up here, we have Grand Blue Dreaming, Volumes 11, 12, and 13. Grand Blue Dreaming is still one of the funniest manga series that I've read so far. I've read other comedy manga that's gotten the chuckles out of me, but this is the only series that has actually had me doubled over dying laughing, dude. It is so funny if you're into that sort of college life type of humor and series. It follows these college students who are part of a diving club, and there's not a whole lot of diving that goes on in this series. It's mostly just them partying, drinking, and getting naked. But it has enough diving to keep someone who's into that interested throughout, I think, anyway. Waifus, husbandos, snorkels, booze, man meat, there's a little something for everybody. So if I had to recommend one series this month, it would probably be this. This is super funny, and I recommend this to the moon and back. Read Grand Blue Dreaming, you won't regret it. Next up, we have the first 2 volumes of Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. Now, I've only read a little bit of the first volume so far, but from what I can gauge, it's about a stressed salaryman who is just getting worn out from the rat race of the corporate world, and like right before he's about to snap, a zombie apocalypse breaks out. You know, as they do. So he becomes determined to complete every item on his bucket list before the zombies inevitably eat his brains out. I don't know, it just seems like the right kind of dark humor that I'm just gonna love, but I haven't read enough of it to really know if I'm gonna like it yet. So stay tuned, I'll let you guys know what I think. Next up, I got a couple of volumes from the legendary mangaka Rumiko Takahashi in Ranma 1/2 and Urusei Yatsura. Now, I've been a big fan of Takahashi sensei ever since I watched Inuyasha for the first time, which I still feel was the jumping off point for me really getting deep into anime. And she's had so many other series that I just haven't gotten a chance to check out. So I felt like a good place to start is some of her earlier work from like the late 70s, early 80s. So that's why I got Ranma and Yatsura here. I'm really looking forward to getting into these. I mean, just flipping through the pages here, I can already recognize her distinct artwork, so I already know I'm going to love these. So I'm looking forward to reading through these and then getting more of her catalog, because I love her. She's great. We're going to finish things off here with some pickups that I got from my somewhat recent visit to Barnes & Noble. 40-minute drive and well worth the trip because they had such an expansive manga section there, and I really didn't know what I was going to buy. I was like in heaven for a bit there. But I really had to control myself because I wanted to keep my budget down to at least $100 capped off, because I didn't want to spend a ton there. But I did still pick up some really cool items. Starting off with The Promised Neverland, volumes 3 and 4. And I also picked up volume 6 from a Facebook marketplace sale, which was the last volume I needed to complete the series, so I now have the entirety of Promised Neverland on my shelf, and I couldn't be happier. I also read through the series, and I gotta say, what a wild trip it was, man. It's not the greatest manga series ever by any means, but I just love the journey, and I love the story, how it all builds up and how it all comes to a conclusion. So I'm super happy to have the entire series, and I do recommend it, but just remember, read the manga, do not watch season 2 of the anime. You'll thank me later. Next up, I picked up the first 2 volumes of Parasite. Now, this is a series that I've been told from a few people is a great sci-fi series that's been around for a while. I thought about watching the anime, but opted to get the manga, so I'm hoping that I really enjoy this. If I enjoy it, I'll probably pick up some more. There's only 8 volumes, I think, in the original series, so it's not really that big of a commitment. So if I like this series, I'll definitely try to collect the whole thing and go through it, man. I think I'm going to like it. And finally, I picked up the first 2 omnibuses for I Am a Hero, which, from what I've heard, at one point was really hard to find. So when I found them in Barnes & Noble, I knew I had to snag a couple of volumes. Now, I haven't read this yet. I do plan on reading it very soon, because I've been told that this is one of the best, most realistic zombie manga ever written. If realistic and zombie can even go in the same sentence. But yeah, this is a series I've been wanting to get into for a while, and I will be reading this very soon. So I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that when I get through that. So guys, that's going to do it for this massive manga haul. Now, there are probably like 2 or 3 series that I didn't cover in this video, but if you want to see the full scope of everything that I got, I'm going to be posting pictures to my Instagram account. So the link to that will be somewhere on the screen here, or it'll also be in the description down below. But if you watched this video all the way to this point, I just want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for sticking in here during this hiatus and staying subscribed to me. I know I haven't been the most reliable when it comes to updates and uploads, but I do plan on doing a lot more content for this channel in the near future. So again, I appreciate you guys for sticking in and watching, and I hope you guys continue to watch. I've also recently started streaming 3 days a week on Twitch. So if you ever want to come over there and chat with me live on stream, I'm at twitch.tv/the_anarchitect. I would love to have some of you guys over there to chat and talk about anime, manga, or whatever. We got a cool thing over there, so I would appreciate it if you came by sometime. And as always, like the video if you like it, dislike the video if you didn't, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see videos just like this one. We're really close to 700 subs, you know, on our way to 1,000 subs, so I would really appreciate your guys' support in that. So with all that being said, I am the Architect, and I'll see you in the next video.